Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 2 of Enigmatica 2 Expert. Last episode we set up our Tinker's stuff, made basic tools, yada yada yada. Today I would like to get into some technology. So we completed the industrial craft gate by making the machine frame, but I guess I kind of want XNet as well. We'll get there. First off, I want to make the coke oven from immersive engineering because I think that unlocks some better ore processing and like plate making things. So this seems like a good place to start. Let's see, porcelain, clay, bricks, and sandstone. All right, so that's sand, that's clay. This I need bone meal for. There's that bone structure that's, gosh, it's so far away. I think I saw one in the nether. Let's go to the nether and see if I can find that bone structure again. Because I haven't really collected any bone. I haven't collected any bones from skeletons because I'm trying to sleep through the nights. The sun bones in the lava over on the right there probably don't need a lot, so this should suffice. This is much easier than going the 1,200 blocks to get back to the old bone structure. And I think if let's see, how do I make it not fall into the lava? Look, mycelium. If I do something like this, and then vein mine it, there we go. How much I get? 25 blocks? More than enough for now. Then we can combine clay with bone meal. Makes porcelain clay. How much of this do I need? We get 3 per craft, so we need 27 total, right? It's a 3x3x3, so 9 crafts. 36, that's enough. We need to smelt some clay into bricks. Need to sleep through the night. And make some sandstone. Alright, this smelting though is going to take a little while, and this is a good chance for us to make the time in a bottle, I believe. So this just lets us accelerate machines. I'm pretty sure we have all the supplies we need for this now. Short a gold ingot. Do I have any gold? Dang it, I short exactly for 2 gold nuggets. Well, that's a shame. Do I have gold laying around somewhere? Nope. Alright, well, let's go get a couple, tiny bit of gold so that we can make the time in a bottle. You Enderman. Give me an ender pearl, please. But don't kill me. If I kill it with a pickaxe, I get the fortune. That's my pickaxe. And there's the 2 ender pearls we need for our storage scanner later. A lot of creepers in this hallway. Gold in hand, we can now make the time in a bottle. So it's not very useful right now because it only has a couple seconds in it, but it'll build up time over time, and then we can use it to accelerate our machines. During that time, our bricks have all finished smelting, so let's gather up 27 of these. As for my reward here, I want... Wait, is this a choice or... No, I get them all. I don't have to choose. I also completed picked up a vis crystal while I was mining. So, I mean, I'll take food. Food is always welcome. And I picked up aquamarine somewhere along the road as well. Alright. Also here in getting started, I did complete I made a scanner, but I don't actually have RF to put into it yet. So I don't think we can use the scanner. But I did reward us with a loot chest, which has Tesla coil in it. I don't know what that does. If I had to guess, it's wireless energy transfer. But anyways, let's set up our blast furnace. Or our coke oven first. Do it over here. I got rid of all the grass, some of the lakes, so that we could make room for this. I was about to go craft our engineer's hammer, and I saw that we don't actually have string yet, and then I decided to go look at the quest. The quest gives us a engineer's hammer and an engineer's manual. Convenient. So, coke oven, already made, gives us... Ooh. Neat, I wonder, can we skip anything with this? It doesn't look like it. I was gonna say, there's some like fun progression-y bits we can skip with that. Nah, it doesn't look like it. Alright, but anyways, that makes our coke oven. Next step is probably, well, I guess next step is to start using the coke oven. So let's get some coal. I don't have much of it, but we'll use what we have and turn it into coal coke. Right click it with the hammer to form the multi-block, let it start cooking. Alright, so after that we can start working on the blast furnace. This requires nether bricks, and blaze powder, huh? Well, I guess we have to go kill. I mean, we can't make the sieve yet, can we? Didn't think so. I guess we have to go kill the blazes for that. That sounds unpleasant. Maybe let's look down here, try to get some water wheels for energy generation. Make the treated wood, we're going to need this creosote oil that is a byproduct of the coke oven process. So we have to pump that out of the coke oven. We were given this fluid pump, and I think the way it works is you set one side to input, one side to output, and then place it where you want it. You can't, actually you can, can't you? If you shift right click, you toggle the far side. So I'm pretty sure I set the far side to input. Put this here, and then it needs a redstone signal to run if memory serves me right. And it has the capability to accept energy, but I think energy is only needed when you want to use it to like pump water out of the world. When you're just using it as a glorified fluid duct, it just needs a redstone signal. It doesn't actually need RF. So anyways, this will make our creosote for us. And then periodically pick up the tank and then use it as a bucket to make treated wood. And it'll just take one bucket of creosote out of the tank for each craft of treated wood. Each 8 pieces takes one bucket. And that gets us, oh nice, 2? Oh, 1. Ender chests are much more useful when you get 2 at a time. Well, what's the recipe for? Can we craft a second one? Or the pouch version, maybe? This we can't quite, but we're close. What about the pouch version? We get some hardened leather? Soon enough. For now, we'll wait until we get a second one as a quest reward, I guess. To make power, then we need to make a dynamo. I looked at the dynamo recipe. This is, I think, the standard recipe, which is quite nice. Any stick will do. And copper wire. So we don't have a metal press yet. We don't have power for a metal press yet, but we can just cut copper plates for it. So I made some copper plates in here. And we can turn these into wires into a dynamo. I'll start with just one water wheel. They were buffed in this pack to produce twice the energy they normally do. So my typical water wheel setup produces like 75, 76 RF, so it'll double that for 150, which is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but useful at all. Not a lot, but it'll be enough to get us started. Alright, so water wheels are next. This takes a steel ingot and treated wood. Alright, so I guess we do need that blast furnace before we can make it. Guess I should make like a bow. Forget the bow. We're just going to use our frying pan. So I'm going to sharpen the frying pan as much as I can. I put one modifier for luck, almost at fortune 3, well, almost-ish, but sharpest, yeah, it's 14 damage now. It started at 4. So now I should be able to basically one-shot anything. Deals extra, so there's 2 traits on this, right? Are Ridiculous and Hellish. One of them makes deal more damage in the nether. One of them makes deal more damage outside of the nether. This is a pretty neat combo. But I suspect with this, we should, if I can just get up to a blaze, I can one-shot it. Kinda curious. Can we one-shot pigmen? Yep. If you one-shot them, their buddies don't even get mad at you, so... Joke's on you, suckers! Some blazes. In total, I need 7 blaze dust, so I think that's 2 to 3 rods, depending on my squeezer luck down the line. But there's one. Now I'm on fire. And there's two. Give me a rod, please. Ow. Oh, don't die in the lava. Alright, well, that should do it, I think. 6 rods, yeah, that's plenty. I'm gonna take this gold ore as well. But first, go away. Go away. I was initially going to make a squeezer to process these rods, but I ended up getting so many that, it's probably worth making a squeezer anyways. Yeah, let's make the squeezer. The squeezer, because it can also be used to, process ores, and for most ores it gives like 1 3/4 yield, so it's not quite ore doubling, but it's better than nothing. For now, I just have our squeezer set up for manual use, so you literally jump on it to squeeze. Done squeezing an item, it puts the output in a chest. I guess the hopper's a valid inventory. I don't know how you keep it from putting it into the hopper, but you flip a lever to reset and then squeeze the next item. And then eventually you squeeze all the blaze rods. And this gives, I think it's between 3 and 4 dust each. But 8 is enough. So we should now be able to make the last bricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 21 blast bricks makes the blast furnace. I have no clue why I thought I only needed 7 crafts. I need 9. So, gotta squeeze one more blaze rod. There we go, that'll do it. I'm building this thing, I'm like, wait, I ran out of bricks. Oh yeah, 3x3x3 isn't 21. Basic elementary school mathematics. Alright, with this we can now take coal coke and some iron. I think it's technically most efficient if you do coal coke in blocks and iron in ingots. You get, for every 9 pieces of coal coke, you process 10 ingots of iron into steel, but it's not a tremendously big deal either way. Alright, so we just have to wait for this to make the steel. It's pretty slow, and unfortunately you can't time it about it because the tile entity that does the processing is the center of the multi-block, so oh well. 3 pieces of steel and some water wheel segments make 3 water wheels. That's the most you can use per dynamo. So, completes a quest, and I want food actually. I've eaten all my good food. Guess this is just like an offhand shield. Okay, sure. Oh wait, now I have 2 of it. I'm getting a lot of desyncs. Whatever. Why didn't this complete? I guess I never had all 27 blast bricks in my inventory at once, huh? Yeah, we'll fix that later. Can we make an LV capacitor? Let's make an LV capacitor as well to hold the energy coming out of the water wheel. I had to go mine for some more copper, and while I was mining, I found this strange thing underground. Made of terracotta. Has slime blocks, which is convenient. I was actually reasonably close to making a trip to a slime island to get some slime blocks. This is just plain old water. Yeah, I don't know what mod adds this, but this is a cute little pocket, like a swampy cave, I guess is what I would call it. Very interesting. But I'm just here for the resources. Another thing I found during that mining trip was some charred certus, so we can make... okay, I have no iron apparently. We cannot make the meteorite compass. I was going to use it as a timer to automate this, but you know what? We can use a different timer. Now that we have some slime, it's quite easy to automate the squeezer by just making a armor stand do the squeezing. Let me show you what I mean. So this is essentially the same squeezer automation I did in FTB interactions, but instead of jumping on the armor stand, or jumping on the squeezer, an armor stand gets pushed onto the squeezer by the slime blocks, and that causes it to deactivate the like the push down on the squeezer, and then a timer periodically resets the squeezer, and when it resets, it also the slime block pulls the armor stand back up. I had to switch the timer block out because the redstone clock from Extra Utilities has been made to use Skystone and a bunch of other stuff. I don't quite understand why you make the timer more expensive, but I mean, whatever. Experts, right? Expert mode. But like the timer from Dark Utilities is the regular recipe, so whatever. We'll make do with what we've got. So if we look at that, I might need to tweak the timing of this here just a little bit. Let's set this to be 20 ticks. Let's see. Yeah, I need it to stay down a little bit longer. We're not taking the armor stand back up with us right now. I had to muck with the timings a little bit. I think it's because the timer here produces a weak pulse. So to turn into a strong pulse, I need to use a repeater, which means that I can't have which means that then I would need a monostable circuit to turn it into a short pulse, which is what the original design was reliant on. But I just now have slightly different delays between untaking the squeezer and pulling up the armor stand. So we are pulling down the armor stand. We untake the squeezer and then push down the armor stand. All right. So now if I get some ore, sure, aluminum. Let's just double check, make sure this can be squeezed. No, it cannot. Or did I just miss it? Oh, I guess we can also grind the double. But here, iron. I know iron can be squeezed. If I throw it in here, it gets squeezed. And hey, now it squeezes into the chest too. It might squeeze into the first inventory it sees. I placed a chest before the hopper this time, so. And if we want to try to be a little bit more aggressive, let's try 14 ticks. I don't know at what point. Well, apparently that's probably pretty close to the fastest we can squeeze. So this is technically better than using the other timer because now it's, a little bit faster. How elegant. And out of that one stack of iron, we got almost 2 stacks of dust. So again, not quite doubling, but it's pretty close. Good value for now. I also added a thing to detect when the hopper is empty, and when the hopper empties out, it turns the system off. That way I don't have to manually hit the switch. It might have an off by 1 error. Like it might not squeeze the last piece. I'm not quite sure. Let's test with, can we squeeze osmium? The downside about this system is that a lot of ores can actually be processed through this. All right, what about copper? This is the stuff I need right now. Yeah, this can. We can later upgrade to the mechanical squeezer too, which gives 2.5 instead of 1.75 output. So once there are items in there, it should... Oh, this is not how you make a NOT gate, can you? There you go, fixed it. I also added, this repeater serves both as a diode because the timer is input-output, right? It outputs the same sides it inputs from, and it adds enough delay that we do squeeze the last piece. So fixes a bug and adds new functionality. Nice. So now, as long as I drop resources into this hopper, I can put a chest on top of it too. It'll squeeze them all until they're done. And then I just have to smelt the dust. I'm also going to make the alloy kiln. This is just a relatively easy early game way to make alloys. Almost all alloys it can make, we can also do in the smeltery, but it's easier to just work in items the whole time, so... yeah, it's just a small little convenience. Do I have any coal left? I have another coal ore. Can I turn this into coal? Can we squeeze it? No, we can't. Smelts into coal ore. Good enough for me. With the alloy kiln, we can mix together... I was going to make some electrum, but I didn't actually smelt my silver yet. I think we can do the dust. Can we? Let's double check. Yeah, we just killing the dust. Alright. So, with some gold. I have a distinct lack of gold. As always. But gold plus silver makes electrum. This block, I think we can time in a bottle, but I don't actually know which one we're supposed to hit. Lower left, apparently. So, this makes it go faster. And I made the electrum because I figured why not make the MV capacitor if we can. It just holds more energy, has more IO. And if we can make MV, I mean, why not make the HV capacitor as well, right? I know the capacitors have been buffed in this pack as well, so an HV capacitor holds, is that 10 million? Want commas. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 zeros. So yeah, it's 10 million RF. I think it's like 4 million as a default. So that's a significant increase. Now let's build our water wheels. I built a bunch of these recently, so I'm like almost getting to the point where I remember how to build them off the top of my head. But dynamo connected to water wheels, and then we just need to put enough structure around here to contain the water. So I think it's all right. This I probably will get wrong a few times, but I vaguely remember how it's supposed to look. And then we just have to connect that to output into a capacitor. So I think it's shift right click it twice. No, twice is output. So set it to nothing, set it to input. One of the other tooltip mods, this tells you what's on the other side when you hold shift. This one apparently doesn't. Oh well. I want to set it up so that we have room for another water wheel on this side, so we can run, 2 side by side and then stack them vertically as needed. And it's done. So this second frame here is to hold eventually a second water wheel, probably. I don't know how many I'll end up building in total because we do get better power options reasonably soon. But hey, once you build it, it's completely free, right? So water wheels are great. Anyways, now we just have to transport the power. For now, the only power transport we have are the wires from immersive engineering. Even flux ducts are not available yet because flux duct flux ducts require network cables, which require lattice plates, and lattice plates cannot be made without some type of machine or another. So yeah, no energy transport for us besides the cables that zap us. Can we technically bake this? Hardened? No, I don't think we make hardened glass. Oh, and it uses flux ducts. So yeah, for now though, let's move on to using that power. I want to use it to make the metal press because that makes plates, gears, wires, etc. very easily. Take my reward here too. What's in the box? Give me food. I guess that's not like the worst. So anyways, right, metal press. For that, we're going to need the engineer's workbench to make the blueprints, and may as well get our quest rewards along the way. The engineer's workbench here, it's just really like a glorified crafting table. You need to put a blueprint item in it. And let's see, we'll put our storage chest right here. So you put a blueprint item in. There's 2 that we use relatively common crafting components, but for now I'm going to do the metal press molds. And then with this, we can make the plate mold first. And I believe that's also a quest. Well, it wants all the molds. We'll do all the molds later because they take 5 steel ingots each. But claim this. Ooh, a chisel. Nice chisel too. And, well, I mean, don't mind if I do. Free power is free power, right? Let's put you on this side. Hey, look at that. We're making 150 RF a tick more. We've doubled our power generation. At this point, the quest gating gets a little bit weird. Like the metal press requires some of these components, and I will be making a project. Well, I guess maybe not for the metal press, but yeah, the quest gating is like I don't know why it's all gated behind the improved blast furnace because the improved blast furnace isn't actually. It is faster, but it uses more coal coke, so it's like whatever. Anyways, let's make the components for that. So let's consult the book. We can pull out the engineer's manual, go to heavy machinery, metal press, and it tells you the blocks we need. Is it just me, or is this going by like extra fast? To make the rods that are required for the steel scaffolding, we have to jump through some hoops here. So we have to use the plate presser, which looks just like a piston, and place it above a block of obsidian. I don't know if it has to be exactly obsidian or any hard block works, but I believe then we can throw a piece of iron there, give it a... oh, that doesn't do it. I thought that's how the plate presser worked. 1 second. it doesn't crush item entities. It crushes literal items. So it can serve as a method of ore doubling. In fact, it actually does truly doubling, so it's probably better than what I have there. But at the same time, we need like a block placer of some sort, which we can trivially build. All right, well, perhaps about time to abandon that system. The small plate presser, what to make steel uses steel rods. It uses steel scaffolding or steel sheet metal. I have to take the steel plates, do this, and then I believe it takes each sheet metal and turns it into 3 rods. Yeah, okay, that's a pretty good deal. One mess of redstone later, here's how I'm doing the small plate presser automation. So I have a block placer that places the blocks. It places it when it receives a redstone signal. A timer generates the pulse. In fact, we could probably even set this slower. Let's try setting this to 10 ticks. Lever here controls it. I can set up the same type of assuming a block placer emits a comparator signal proportional to fullness. I can detect the fullness of that, but I'll do that later. Anyways, the pulse goes to power the block placer, then another pulse, the same pulse goes to power the block it places. If it places a block, then this signal can travel through the block to another repeater, which powers the small plate presser, 1 redstone tick later. So, whoopsies, that's not the switch we hit. We hit this switch. And then that will place and then immediately crush the block. And in fact, looking at this, I didn't hit the done button, did I? There we go. It goes until the block placer runs out of blocks. Well, when the block placer runs out of blocks, the small plate presser stops pressing. But the results are picked up by a vacuum hopper. I did use one of my 2 underpearls, so I'm going to need another underpearl. But output's going to here. I think there are some ores that can go through this process, but not this, and some that can go through this. But like osmium, can't be pressed in the squeezer. So we're going to leave both up and use them as needed. But yeah, there's my horrifically over-engineered way of pressing blocks. But it is fast. Unfortunately, the block placer does not emit a comparator signal for fullness, so there's no way to detect if there's items in here. That means I do have to manually hit the switch. Woe is me. Hey, give that back. Jimmy, you should really look at recipes for the entire project before you start. We can't make the metal press yet because the heavy engineering block requires reinforced alloy, which requires getting into mechanism. So, yeah, we set up RF for no reason. I mean, it's not for no reason. We'll use it later. But definitely not using the metal press yet. So let's switch gears and do something else. Go back to the quest book. There's really not much more meaningfully we can do here in this quest or in this chapter. So let's go back to our gates and pick another chapter. I kind of want to get like decent energy transport. So let's try to make pipes. In order to do so, it's probably easiest to go into industrial craft and make some of the basic industrial craft machines like the block cutter and stuff. And incidentally, that can make plates as well. On second thought, wouldn't industrial craft be so much easier if we had basic universal cables to convert RF to EU? These aren't terribly cheap, so I think the easiest way to make these is the nuclear craft alloy furnace. The other options are like the induction smelter, arc furnace, or ender IO furnace, but none of these are very easy to get to. So I think we're going to have to go into nuclear craft to make the alloy furnace. Thankfully, this isn't like all that bad. We could probably actually just make it now and skip the quests. This is just a whole bunch of plates, and we can make plates 1-for-1 in the smeltery, so it's not a bad deal. But I think let's just follow the nuclear craft quest anyways. We'll start with the manufactory. I think this is our first RF consuming machine. So manufactory, I think it's like it does a lot of things, but it's part pulverizer, part furnace. It can do like furnace style jobs. It's a very, very useful thing to have. I guess it's mostly just a pulverizer, huh? All right, whatever. Looks like we can get more wood out of our more planks out of our wood as well. But of the rewards, can I see the metadata? I think 25 is like low tier. It goes up to 100. I think metadata 100 is the good one. So what are these advanced platings? How do we make them? Do we want this or tough alloy, which I believe we can alloy? Lithium ferroboron, which is boron steel. Give me the loot chest. Even though it's a bad loot. Oh, come on. I regret that choice. Alright, whatever. That completes the gate, and it lets us get into nuclear craft. Oh boy. Yes. +1 complete. I don't actually know what this does. Run a script command. Alright, begin the quest line. Next up, we get 10 levels. Don't mind if I do. And from here, we have to make the basic plating to make the alloy furnace. Initially, I was going to use the OV wires from Immersive Engineering to transfer power, but now that I'm at this step, I'm thinking we can just skip straight to using Ender IO conduits for energy transport. Ender IO conduits have the big advantage of not zapping you. It's quite convenient. Anyways, one alloy furnace, and maybe one more piece of redstone. With this, I believe we can make the most, if not all, of the Ender alloys in it. So for now, because I don't have any energy transport, we'll just put it right here. And yeah, machine's pretty fast even without upgrades. I believe this is significantly buffed, but we did complete this quest. Vision, well, that's not a half bad reward, I think. How do we make this? I mean, it's not very useful, I guess, on its own. Whatever. But anyways, yeah, that makes conductive iron, and then we can do this to make energetic alloy, and we can even make tier 2. I mean, if we want, I could probably even go all the way to tier 3, right? But that does require ender pearls, so... yeah, 4 is enough for now. So, with this, and I've been smelting some conduit binder. Ender IO, I've missed you. Welcome home. But we want the good conduits. There we go. Very good, very good. The alloy furnace also lets us make what is probably my single most favorite item in the game. The item conduit. No kidding. It's if I had to pick a single favorite item, I think it goes to the item conduit because it's just so useful. It's by far the best item transport in the game. It's in, shares block space with other stuff. It's configurable to be fast or slow. Has tons of filtering capabilities. Yeah, I live and die by the item conduit. But anyways, I think that's all the time we have for today. I could rave about item conduits and energy conduits all day, but I don't think anyone actually wants to hear that. So why don't we leave off here? Next time we'll come back, continue our nuclear craft work, and eventually try to get into... I already forget what my goal was. Why did I start doing nuclear craft? I don't remember. We'll figure it out later. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, even though it's a lot all over the place. Didn't really do much thinking ahead. I kind of just went with what I thought was a good idea at the time, which only worked out about half the time. Anyways, yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.